How easy is it for your potential client to get to the sale? What do they need to do? What do they need to know to make it an easy yes? Okay, today I'm going to bring you something a little bit different because one of my favorite things to talk about, you might say I'm obsessed with, is business. Talking business and finding ways that are really seemingly like obvious or simple to improve your business. If you find me in the wild and you mention you have a business or have an idea for a business, it's not uncommon for it to turn into a 30-minute session where I am just asking and eating up everything that you're willing to tell me about your business. And a lot of times that leads into mini coaching sessions. It doesn't always have to, or it doesn't always. Sometimes it's more just a sharing of ideas. But these conversations light my soul on fire. They make my heart sing. And I just got off a coaching call with one of my clients, and they had a little bit of a hole in their systems that to me was just so blatantly obvious from the outside looking in. But sometimes we're just too close to our businesses to see them, and you just need that outside perspective. And this is a lesson or thing that I see in so many companies that I have coached, especially when it comes to service providers. Here is my question to you. How easy is it for your potential client to get to the sale? What do they need to do? What do they need to know to make it an easy yes? So for example, this client that I'm talking about, they are in the education space. The person who is signing up has to get approval from a principal or an admin. They have to get approval from somebody higher up. And so I was saying that if we are targeting people in education, right? My client was saying they're so busy. If it's not report cards, it's finals. There's always something going on. They are so busy all of the time. And so for me, the biggest obstacle I see for the teacher or the educator is time, right? They don't want to sit and figure out how to bring your program into their classroom. We need to make it as easy as possible for them to not only say yes, but actually make it to the finish line of enrolling. And so what we worked on is I said, okay, if I was a teacher, I wanted to enroll in your program and bring your program into my classroom. What do I need to do, right? And my client was like, okay, well, there's this form, this form, this form. And I was like, okay, but don't they have to get an approval somewhere, right? How do they do that? Are they just left on their own to do that? And so we realized that we need to make it easy for them to get that approval, right? As the program, we know exactly how to pitch it to a principal. We know exactly what words to say. We know exactly what to tell them about funding, but the teacher doesn't know that. And you don't want to leave the teacher to figure it out themselves because, to be honest, you and I have all been there. If I have to sit and write an email and have to think a little bit hard about it, I'm waiting to write that email, right? Even if I know the ideas, even if I know what I need to say, but I have to think a little harder to say it, that email is sitting in my inbox for a couple days. Now imagine you don't know all the answers to the questions. That email is probably never getting sent, especially if you are busy and have, 30 rugrats to attend to, right? Like there's just too many things that'll take priority over you finding the answers to send an email to get approval for a program. So what do? Well, you create the template and give the information to that teacher to give to the person or to that educator to give to the person they need to get approval from. Okay, now you might be thinking that this doesn't apply to you, right? I know a lot of people in my circles are online businesses, maybe digital downloads or whatever. And your audience doesn't need to get approval from anybody. Well, and if you're selling to actually a couple people, now that I think about it, a couple people in my coaching program, they do work with people in corporations, and the people in those corporations do have to get budget approval. So what do? provide them the exact language that they need to provide to somebody else, and see if there's a way that you can actually get the approval for them, right? Take it off their plate. The other place I see this a lot is with affiliate programs or influencer marketing. You can't expect somebody to come into your company and know how to sell it. And this is the number one rule in affiliate marketing programs. Do not ask somebody to sell something you don't know how to sell, right? So I've been an affiliate manager for a handful of years. I've been an affiliate in other programs. The best thing you can do in these cases is provide the exact language to your affiliates that they can send to their people. Tell them where to add a little bit of their personal story, but when it comes to the details of what they are selling on your behalf, give them the details, give them the benefits, give them the pain points. They can tweak it to match their audience, but don't make them guess and don't make them create the wheel themselves. This has been very specific, so I want to broaden a little bit. If you're still here and that didn't specifically apply to you, here's how it might apply to you. Here's how you can apply it. Answer this question. If I want to work with you, what do I need to do? It cannot take more than 3 steps. It needs to be as easy as 1, 2, 3 or less. If I want to work with you, what do I need to do? If you are not answering that question for your customers or clients, then chances are you're leaving money on the table because they don't know what step to take. They don't know how to work with you. They don't know how to sign up, and therefore they're not taking action. Okay, like I said, a little bit different than our typical topics, a little bit more technical and kind of to the point, but it's bound to happen once in a while. I love business, I love marketing, and I especially love finding super simple solutions that can help you level up your business, make more money, have more time freedom, and build a life you're obsessed with. Now let's go get obsessed. A huge theme in my conversations and coaching calls with business owners is shedding your shoulds, clearing your mental load of the hundreds and hundreds of shoulds so that you can limit your decision fatigue and spend your energy where it really counts. So if you're finding yourself in this never-ending cycle of thinking, I should post more, I should work out more, I should go to more networking events and call my friends more, I want to help you break the cycle. Let's sit down for a 15-minute chat, completely free, and I'll help you shed 3 major shoulds from your mental load. Just click the link in the show notes to schedule your virtual hangout. And a huge thank you to everyone who makes this podcast happen, my amazing team at Sleeked Marketing and the incredible women at Fast Forward Productions. Now let's go get obsessed.